The first time I saw Ward B, it felt like walking into a photograph left in the rain. Fluorescent lights buzzed. The corridor smelled of disinfectant and old coffee. At the far end, a heavy door hung half open. A brass plaque read, Room 13. They told me about Room 13 the first night. The head nurse's voice was small. She did not tell a story. She told a rule. Don't answer when it calls, she said. I thought it was a superstition, but a sound threaded through the vents that night, a breath like a machine clearing its throat. It said a name so soft I could have missed it. Michael. I froze. A nurse behind me murmured, Don't answer. Her hands trembled. She had worked a week in Room 13 and quit. Room 13 rarely held patients. When it did, they begged to be moved. They spoke of drafts. They did not speak of the room. On my third night, the call came again, clearer, like an old radio tuning. The name pressed at the edges of memory. I almost went to the door. I forced myself to keep walking. The hospital held old things. Grief, promises, clocks that kept wrong time. Ward B was a building the city had left to age. People say hospitals are full of ghosts when they mean they are full of stories too heavy to say. When a man from Room 15 died, the building inhaled. At dawn, the funeral home took the body. At night, the wall clock in Room 13, which had been stopped at 3:13, clicked forward. Calls multiplied. Names skated like paper boats. Nurses hummed lullabies to drown the sound. We wrote names on scrap paper and burned them. On the seventh night, the generator hiccuped and the lights went dead. In the dark, a blue glow leaked from Room 13. The voice that called was patient and coaxing. Come, it said. Hospitals teach you to move toward sound. I found my hand on the doorknob. Inside, the bed looked ordinary. A radio on the bedside table was open like a shell. Wires curled from it. A photograph lay face down. The clock read 3:13. I turned the photo. A tired man looked back. Someone had written Michael Harris, 1978. My mouth found his name before my mind did. The radio sighed and hummed a thin lullaby. Memory unfolded against my chest, scenes that were not mine but fit. A feverish night. Surgeons arguing. A note never given. A son waiting in the rain. A photograph slipped into a pocket. I learned Michael's story in a backward rush. He had come in late, sick and alone. Choices were made that were small and human. A schedule, a promise, a missed detail. He died with a photograph in his hand. When the memory eased, the room was ordinary again. The clock read 3:15. I felt old in a way not tied to years. You answered, Sarah said behind me. She had come in without shoes. Her face was pale. Now it will remember you. That changed everything. The rule was a pact. If you answered, the building handed you its memories. If you listened, you were responsible for them. The past does not sit politely. It leans and asks to be seen. Nights grew thin with small surprises. I would wake at 3 a.m. with a lullaby stuck behind my ribs. Once I found a child's wristband folded beneath my pillow. Another night, a nurse told me she had dreamed of a man who wanted to know if anyone had told his wife he was sorry. We began to speak names softly in empty halls and then stop. Saying a name felt like opening a window. We feared the wind. We feared the weight of what might come through. Sometimes I thought of Michael not as a ghost, but as a mistake the hospital could not file away. That idea felt like mercy. Mistakes can be fixed. Memories can be honored. So I answered, in my head, not aloud, Michael, I am sorry. The words did not change what had happened. They changed me. They taught me silence can be an act of care. After that night, small things shifted. The vents learned my name. The lights blinked when I entered a room. I woke with photographs in my pocket. Empty beds started telling stories that belonged to other decades. The hospital seemed to sort through its lost things. I thought about leaving. The head nurse offered a day shift transfer with Mercy. She touched my shoulder the way someone measures a coin. You can keep the picture, she said, nodding toward room 13. Or you can leave it. I left the photograph. Some rules guard the dead from being dug up by the curious hands of the present. We told ourselves the rule to keep balance. We hummed as we worked. We made lists and burned them. We breathed through names we would not say aloud. Still, there were nights when the corridor sang and the door of room 13 stood ajar. Sometimes the radio played a tune I nearly remembered. Sometimes it called my name, and my voice stayed behind my teeth. If you ever stand in an old hospital and hear a soft sigh through the vents, remember the head nurse's rule. Don't answer when it calls. Answering hands memory to the living. It will not be gentle. Let the photograph lie on the table. Let the dead keep their brittle rest. The last time I walked past room 13, the plaque glinted under the light. The clock hung at 3:13. The door was open a sliver. A radio hummed inside. I kept walking slowly. My tired feet knew the rule. I kept my mouth closed and the name in me where it belonged, a small, private thing. Sometimes mercy is silence. Sometimes mercy is the unspoken rule we keep so the past can sleep.